April 18, 1944, 7:45 a.m. The morning mist clung to the rolling hills of Normandy, dampening the scent of wet earth and the metallic tang of spent ammunition. Somewhere nearby, the low hum of trucks stirred the awakening soldiers, and the occasional clatter of gear echoed across the cobbled streets. American Rangers, tense and alert, made their way through the partially ruined village, boots crunching over shattered wood and brick. Every step carried the weight of anticipation, of danger lingering just beyond sight. Inside a commandeered farmhouse, a small table held the prize, a German MP40 submachine gun, freshly captured and meticulously cleaned. Its steel gleamed under the weak morning light, the wood stock polished from repeated handling. The Rangers gathered around it, eyes narrowing, hands hovering over the weapon with a mixture of curiosity and professional caution. How could a weapon, often dismissed by Allied soldiers as cheap or lightweight, inspire such focused attention? Private James Connors, his palms itching to grip the MP40, leaned in. The cool metal felt foreign, yet precise, almost intimate, as if the gun itself held secrets in its mechanism. They had handled countless captured rifles and pistols before, but this one moved differently, almost unnervingly smooth. The bolt cycled effortlessly, the recoil spring absorbing the jolt in a whisper of motion. Could a weapon so small, so deceptively simple, perform so efficiently under the harshest conditions? The question hung in the air as the men exchanged glances, tension and awe blending in equal measure. Meanwhile, back at Aberdeen Proving Ground, engineers were furiously documenting every captured piece of German ordnance. Reports of the MP40's innovative recoil system had filtered across units for months, but nothing replaced first-hand experience. As the Rangers carefully loaded the magazine, a quiet murmur rippled through the room. Each squeeze of the trigger was a revelation. The rounds seemed almost guided, the gun's rhythm in perfect sync with the shooter. Was this just good engineering, or had the Germans uncovered a level of mechanical finesse the Allies had yet to see? Outside, the wind rustled through shattered roofs, carrying distant gunfire and the faint smell of smoke. Inside, the soldiers were caught between excitement and unease, marveling at the captured submachine gun while knowing it represented the deadly efficiency of the enemy. And in that quiet, fleeting moment, a bridge formed between opposing worlds: human ingenuity, curiosity, and the raw, unsettling power of war. By mid-morning, the Rangers had cleared the farmhouse of debris and set up a makeshift testing area. The MP40 rested on the table like a quiet predator, its simple lines belying the engineering inside. Soldiers who had fired everything from M1 Garands to Thompson submachine guns approached it with cautious curiosity. The room was filled with soft metallic clicks, the faint smell of gun oil, and the low murmur of speculation. How could something so light handle sustained fire without jumping out of your hands? Someone whispered. Private Connors finally gripped the stock, his fingers tracing the grooves along the receiver. The gun's compact design was immediately apparent. The magazine slid in with a precise click, the bolt gliding smoothly as he cycled it. When he fired the first burst, the recoil was near imperceptible. Each round kicked back with minimal force, yet the weapon remained accurate, controllable, almost eerily predictable. The men stared, incredulous. Could the Germans really have designed a submachine gun that felt more stable than their own heavier models? Historians later noted that the MP40's recoil system, using a telescoping bolt and relatively low-powered 9mm cartridges, allowed for this near-effortless handling. Unlike other weapons, it didn't punish rapid fire with violent jumps. Engineers back at Aberdeen carefully measured every spring tension, bolt mass, and magazine angle, realizing that the simplicity of its construction was its genius. It was a weapon designed not just to kill efficiently, but to make the soldier using it more effective under pressure, a subtle psychological advantage in the chaos of combat. Rangers took turns firing short bursts, marveling how the rounds tracked so neatly, how the gun seemed almost to anticipate their movements. Conversations drifted to other captured weapons, but nothing drew this level of attention. Some men laughed nervously, shaking their heads in disbelief, while others furrowed brows, jotting down observations. Even the most battle-hardened soldiers were taken aback. Here was a small, unassuming gun, yet in skilled hands it could dominate a room. Outside, the wind carried distant echoes of artillery and the chatter of Allied patrols. Inside, curiosity turned to respect, and respect into quiet unease. The MP40 wasn't just a weapon, it was a lesson in design, in anticipation, and in how small innovations could shift the balance on the battlefield. And as the soldiers carefully cleaned, reloaded, and tested it again, a subtle question lingered in every mind. Could the Allies reverse engineer this edge? Or would the Germans' ingenuity continue to tip the scales? By late afternoon, the farmhouse had transformed into a small theater of discovery. Rangers had spent hours examining, firing, and discussing the MP40, each interaction adding layers to their understanding and their respect for the German design. The weapon, seemingly modest, had revealed a quiet brilliance. Every movement of the bolt, every click of the magazine, every burst of fire spoke of meticulous engineering, honed by years of battlefield experience. Private Connors paused, hands resting on the polished stock, inhaled deeply. The smell of gun oil and spent rounds lingered in the air, mingling with the faint scent of wood and metal. Around him, the men exchanged silent glances. There was awe here, yes, but also a creeping sense of vulnerability. This was the enemy's craft, and it worked. Smooth, efficient, reliable. One misstep in battle, and that mechanical elegance could mean the difference between life and death. Later, back at their bivouac, discussions shifted from technical details to reflection. They talked about what it meant to fight an enemy who could innovate under pressure, who could combine simplicity with deadly efficiency. The MP40 became more than a weapon. It was a symbol of human ingenuity in the crucible of war. A reminder that even in the darkest circumstances, intellect and design could create something remarkable. Soldiers jotted down sketches and notes, knowing these observations could influence future Allied weapon development, improve training, and save lives. As the sun dipped low, shadows stretched across the rubble-strewn village. The Rangers cleaned and stored the MP40, handling it with the respect it demanded. There was an unspoken understanding that what they had witnessed wasn't merely mechanical brilliance. It was a glimpse into the minds of those who had engineered survival, efficiency, and deadly precision into a simple, steel-framed tool. And in that quiet, fleeting moment, a bridge formed between opposing worlds: human ingenuity, curiosity, and the raw, unsettling power of war.